So welcome everybody. If you didn't hear me before, we just need 2 blocks, a bolster and a cushion, but not to worry if you don't have any props at all, it should be fine. So let's begin lying down again. So I'm going to stay seated, but everybody, you can lay down on your mat and make yourself comfortable. If you've got a cushion or a bolster, you can slide that under the thigh side of your knees. You can use a folded towel or a folded blanket for your head if you want some extra cushioning for your head. And just make yourself as comfortable and as warm as possible. So allow the feet to be wide. Let the arms be away from the body, palms facing up. And slide your shoulders down away from your ears. Feel the shoulder blades moving in towards the spine so that the heads of your shoulders are descending, heart opening. And just make sure your chin is slightly lower than your forehead, keeping the back of the neck long, spine long. And if you haven't done so already, you can close your eyes. Place one hand on your low belt, actually keep your hands where they are. And begin to turn your gaze to your inner space. And drop down inside your body and begin to explore. Begin to observe with curiosity. Sensing into what you're feeling in this moment in your body. Beginning to listen to the language of your body. And just notice what's present. Notice the breath in your body, how it moves your body out and in, up and down, rising and falling. Feel your heartbeat, expansion and contraction of your lungs. Notice any surface agitation on your skin. And allow your breath to deepen, filling the belly with air as you inhale and letting it fall back down towards the spine as you exhale. Beginning your diaphragmatic breathing, slowing right down. Bones are heavy, muscles relaxed. Let go of anything outside of this moment. Feeling the weight of your body on the floor. And sensing the points of contact of your body with the floor. Relax between your eyebrows. Allow your jaw to be slack. And let the eyes fall back into their sockets. Finding that connection with yourself, with your highest self, and finding that connection to everything around you, that interconnectedness to each other and to the world around us. We'll begin to move into our first shape. In our first shape, you can stay laying down on your back. We'll reach the arms above the head. If you've got a bolster underneath your thighs, you can just slide that out to the side. Stretch your spine nice and long, reach through the heels, reach through the fingertips. And keeping the hips anchored where they are, start to walk the feet over to the right until you feel a pull through the left side body. Move the upper body, same direction, over to the right until you feel a stretch, not too deep of a stretch. You can always come deeper after 30 seconds, a minute. And as long as you feel a pull through the left side body, you're in the pose. And option to bind the arms by catching the elbows, catching a wrist, or not. And maybe 30 seconds in, a minute in, you can cross the ankles, left over right. Your choice. Wherever you are, relax the shoulders, relax the arms. And continue to feel the breath in your belly. And continuing to witness sensation inside your body and on the surface of your skin. Maybe crossing the left ankle over the right if you haven't done so already. Relax the muscles on your face. And stretching your obliques, your intercostal muscles. And stimulating the liver meridian. And your awareness on your breath. Notice when tension starts to come back into the body and just let the body soften as much as you can. Carefully uncross the ankles if they're crossed. Move the feet back to center. And then slowly move the torso back to center. And we'll release the low back, bend the knees, and hug the knees in towards the chest and rock from side to side. Massage your low back into the floor. Circle the knees one direction. and circle them the other direction. Let's do the other side. Now, stretch the body long, create space between each of the vertebrae in the spine. And begin to walk the feet over to the left. And once you've met your edge here, start to move the upper body over to the left. Just wiggle your shoulders, your head, arms until you feel a sufficient stretch through the right side body. Option to cross your right ankle over the left to add a little more stretch. Relax your face. Relax your shoulders. Feel the belly rise and fall. Maintaining a connection with your center. And observing whatever it is you're experiencing in your body, in your heart, in your mind. Let's take 2 more breaths. Uncross the ankles if they're crossed. Walk the feet back to center and walk your upper body back to center and hug the knees in towards the chest. Release your low back and do whatever feels good to massage out the lower back. Okay, so let's flip over onto the belly. And just take a moment and rest your head on your hands, forehead on your hands, make a pillow. Take a couple of deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we'll reach the right arm out to the side. So right arm comes out to the side, hand is at shoulder height. Bring your left fingertips underneath the left head of the shoulder and start to move over onto your right side. So you can begin by stacking the legs. So you are feeling a stretch through the front of the shoulder, the inside line of the arm, right arm. And you can stay here, or you can step the top leg behind the bottom leg and start to move your back body towards the floor, adding a twist in the spine and also more opening through the front of the shoulder. If you need a block or a pillow under your head, if your neck doesn't feel comfortable, you can slide something under your head. And option to reach the left arm up and then back behind your body. And that just adds a little more weight to deepen the opening, but just being careful with your shoulder joint. And imagine your right scapula moving towards the front of your body to transfer a bit of the stretch to the pectoral muscle, taking some of the pressure off your shoulder joint. And breathe. And if you start to feel any kind of pins and needles in your right arm, just back it up a little. Come back to a stacked leg position. And listening to your body at all times. And let's take 3 more breaths. And if your foot is stepped behind, bring both legs together and slowly make your way over onto your belly. Make a pillow with your hands, rest your forehead on your hands, and take a few breaths here. Just relaxing, pausing in between sides. And let's set up for the other side. So reach your left arm out. The palm is facing down and hand is in line with your shoulder. Your right fingertips come underneath the right head of the shoulder. And just make your way over onto your left side. The knees can stay bent if that feels more comfortable for you, or straight legs, as long as you feel a stretch through the front of the shoulder. Option to use a block or a cushion underneath your head. And if you feel enough of a pull through the anterior deltoid, the front of the shoulder, stay here. Otherwise, you can step your right foot behind the left and deepen the stretch. And move your left shoulder blade towards the front of the body. Same action as on the other side, so that you start to feel a stretch through the left pectoral muscle. Relax your face. And relax the legs. And let's take 3 more breaths. And bring the right leg back on top of the left. It's stepped behind and slowly ease your way over onto your belly. Rest your forehead on your hands and take a few breaths. And we'll come up into Sphinx. So bring the elbows roughly underneath the shoulders. Separate the feet so that you're in a comfortable extension of your spine. So the closer your feet are together, the more extension you'll feel in your lumbar spine. The further they are apart, the easier it will be. So just find a happy medium. And begin by pressing the earth away from you with your forearms, puffing up between your shoulder blades. And then allow the pelvis to become heavy, softening the abdomen, softening the glutes, the legs. And breathe. And feel the low back filling up with air. Direct your breath to your lumbar area. Letting it fill with air, and then as you exhale, let it soften and release. If you ever feel any twinginess in your low back, you just squeeze the glutes to relieve the pressure and relax when you feel ready. And feel free to change the position of your head and neck as often as you like. You can even turn to look over one shoulder, turn to look over the other shoulder. If you want to move a little bit deeper, you can do that now, separating the legs, bending the knees, touching the big toes together. Or for a little deeper back bend than that, separating the hands and lifting the elbows off the floor. Relaxing your jaw. Relax the muscles in the face. And if seal is too much, just release the elbows to the floor and come back to Sphinx or come back to the middle option. Just taking whatever shape your body is asking for. And keep your breath full and even. And let's take 3 more breaths. Release the elbows to the floor. If they're off the floor, release the shins to the floor. And slowly come down, resting your head on your hands, and take a few deep breaths and relax your whole body. Rest completely. Let's give your hips a little wobble from side to side. Draw your right knee up along the floor so it's in line with the hip. And look towards the right. Releasing more across the low back. And bring the leg back to center. Let's push back into child's pose. So taking your time to come into child's pose and using props underneath your head if needed. So that's only if your hips are off your heels that you need something underneath your head. And let's have the arms relaxed alongside the body. Releasing between the shoulder blades. Releasing your whole spine. Make sure you're on the top of your forehead so the back of the neck stays long. Relax the heads of the shoulders around the outer thighs. And notice how your belly is compressed. With every exhalation, feel your body softening even more, and relaxing down into the earth. Bring the hands under the heads of the shoulders and just move your knees slightly apart. Actually, move your knees to about as wide as your mat, and then walk the hands forward. So coming into a wide-legged child's pose. Feeling some flexion through the shoulders. A little bit of a stretch through the groin. And start to walk the hands back in towards the body. Press the hands into the floor, tuck the chin into the chest, slowly stack one vertebra on top of the other. Bring your knees together and take a deep breath in through the nose. Let it go through the mouth. And inhale and release. Release the legs out in front. Give your knees a little pump. And let's just take a moment. Let's keep the legs straight just to give the knees a break. And if it's not comfortable to sit like this, cross your legs. And let's just unfurl the ears. So the unfurling the ears, there's so many acupressure points in the ears. And we'll be doing some neck stretches. So it helps to ease tension in the neck. So just start at the tops of your ears and just unfurl them, working your way down to the earlobes. And then when you get to the earlobes, come back to the top and unfurl the ears a little more. Should feel really nice. And do this a couple more times until your ears are nice and warm. Okay. So we're going to do, I know we've been doing shoelace quite a bit. We're going to do shoelace again. If you want to skip shoelace, you can just sit in a cross-legged position and do the neck stretches like this. But if you want to add in some hip opening, you can take shoelace. So some of you will probably need something to sit up on. So find a block or a cushion, sit up on some height. And then let's start with the right leg on top. So I'm doing the opposite to you. So bring the left heel to the right sit bone and step the right leg over top. Bring the knees together. And just make sure that you are seated on both sit bones are rooted down into your cushion or rooted down into the floor. Okay, so let's start with sending the left ear to the left shoulder. So lift up through the spine, lift up through the crown of the head, and let your left ear, and I'm doing the opposite to you, so left ear to left shoulder, and we'll be here for 1 minute. If this is hard on your neck, or if you have neck issues, you can simply leave the neck stretches out and fold forward. So if it's bugging your neck in any way, just leave it out and take regular shoelace. Option to reach the right arm behind the back, reaching for the left waist, and that just draws the right shoulder down away from the ear, lengthening the neck even more. And the next option is to place the left hand on the side of the head, not pressing down, but just adding a little bit of weight. And use your left hand to press the side of your head up and release the back arm. If it's behind you, roll the shoulders back a few times and take a couple of breaths. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. In through the nose and out through the mouth. And we'll do the other side. So again, lift up through the crown of the head. Right ear descends towards the right shoulder. Maybe reaching the left arm behind the back, reaching for the right waist. Our neck gets so tense from sitting in front of a computer all day. I'm not sure, but probably lots of you are doing that, seated at home. And so just releasing some of that neck tension. Placing the right hand at the side of the head to add a slight bit of weight. And let's use that same hand to press the head back up and roll the shoulders back a few times. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And one more. Inhale and exhale. Let's turn to look over the left shoulder. See how far you can look behind you, bringing a twist to your cervical spine. And slowly come back to center. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth. And for the duration of the pose, which is less than a minute, come down, fold forward, rest your chest on your thighs, or just lean into your hands. And if this is too much, if this makes the stretch too deep, just come back up to an upright position or to a level that's comfortable for you. And we'll start to push the floor away, walk the hands back in, and uncross your legs. Release the legs, release the knees, and windshield wiper the legs from side to side. A little break, little counter pose. Okay, then let's do the other side. So either a cross-legged position with the opposite leg on top, or come into shoelace. So right knee comes in towards the center line of your mat, step the left leg over, and walk the foot away from you, stacking the knees, using something underneath your hips if the hips aren't level. Okay, so we'll do some forward flexion of the neck and some extension. So sit up nice and tall in the spine, reach up through the crown of the head, and we'll come into a forward flexion. So just stick your chin out ever so slightly, and then bring the chin towards the chest. And to keep the spine long, lift the chest up towards the chin. And if you don't feel enough of a stretch through the neck, you can interlace your fingers, hands, and just place a little bit of weight behind the head. Keep lifting the chest towards the chin. An option to just start to turn your chin slightly over to the left and see how that feels. And then bring the chin back to center and move it over towards the right. Back to center. Remove the hands from the back of the head. Use your hands to press your head back up. And take an inhale through the nose. Exhale it all through the mouth. And one more. So we'll do a minute of extension in the spine or the neck. Lift up through the crown of the head, and then just let the weight of the head fall back in space. Opening the throat, and stimulating the glands in your throat. And know that you can always release this stretch early if you need to. Listen to your body, listen to your neck. It's especially important to listen when you're in extension. And slowly bring the chin back to center. Take a couple of breaths. And we'll look over the other shoulder. So looking over the right shoulder. And return the head back to center. And for the last less of a minute left, just fold forward. Rest your chest on your thigh or any version that works for your body. As long as you feel a stretch through the outer hips, especially the left one, that's the main thing. You can always move your feet away from the hips to increase the stretch in your glutes and in your hips. And we'll release. Press the hands into the floor, moving slowly, and then carefully releasing the top leg and releasing the legs, giving your legs a little shake. Windshield wiper the legs from side to side. Lean back on your hands and just take a little break. Okay, so let's do a toe stretch. So come and sit on your heels, but tuck your toes under. Make sure your baby toe also gets a stretch. So just tuck the baby toe under. And let's be here for 2 minutes. And if you want to add some arms into this, you can take reverse prayer. So you can bring your hands into a prayer position behind your back. And if that doesn't work in your body, you can just catch opposite elbows. Open the chest, squeeze between the shoulder blades, and breathe. And feel a nice stretch through the bottoms of your feet, through the toes. And if this is really intense for your feet, just come up onto your knees to relieve the pressure. Your feet will thank you for this. Smile. Less than a minute left. Fifteen seconds. 3 more breaths. And release the arms and release the feet. Come forward into a tabletop position and then just tap the tops of your feet out. Toes out. Okay, so let's take dragonfly. So again, sit up on some height if you need to. If you're sitting back on your sitting bones, back here, sit up on something. But if you're able to sit right up on top of the sit bones, then you don't need anything underneath you. Have a block or a bolster handy if you like to support your head. Inhale and exhale, fold forward. Use a block under the head to support your head if you like, or just let the head fold forward in space. Relax your feet. Relax the legs. Relax your face. And breathe. Let's turn the palms to face down. Slowly start to walk the hands back in towards the body and bend one knee, bend the other knee, and make your way down onto your back. And just take a couple of breaths flat on your back. We'll come into a one-legged supine twist. So make sure you've got at least some kind of prop over to your left so that you have something for the leg to land on. Bend your knees, place your feet flat on the floor, lift the hips and slide them over to the right. Straighten your left leg and pick up the right leg, right foot, and guide it over towards your block or your cushion. You can change the height of your block if needed. And guide your arms into a T shape or cactus shape if you don't have space for a T shape. And if the one-legged twist is too intense for your low back, just bend the bottom leg and stack the knees and the ankles. The one-legged twist is a bit more of a twist, more of a stretch for the low back. So make sure that you're not going beyond your limit. Guide your right shoulder towards the floor. And your left hand can rest on the outside of your right knee, or you can rest it on your belly, your waist. And if you're looking for a complete twist, you can turn your head to look to the right. Relax your feet. Relax the muscles in your legs, especially the inner thighs. Soften your chest and your arms. We'll slowly begin to unwind, bringing the right leg back to center and recenter your hips and give your body a long stretch. Inhaling and stretching, and then when you exhale, release the arms back down to the side and pause here for another moment and just relax. And we'll do the other side. Bend the knees, feet are flat on the floor. Lift the hips and slide the hips over to the left, about 4 inches, and straighten the right leg. Pick up the left foot, guide the leg across the body to find the floor or a block. Reach the arms into a T shape. Reaching through the left fingertips to bring the left shoulder towards the floor. Just noticing where you feel this in your body. Bringing action through the belly and the digestive organs. Opening through the armpit area and across the chest. Across your low back. Maybe looking towards the left fingertips, if you like, if that feels comfortable and safe for your neck. And relax your legs. Let go of any tension in your body. And focus on your breath. And on your next inhale, slowly start to guide your left leg back to center. Bring your hips back to center and reach the body long, nice long stretch. Hug the knees in towards the chest and release the low back, rock from side to side, and just move around in any way that feels good for the back of your pelvis, your sacrum, your low back. Just massage it all out. And let's take happy baby. So from this reverse child's pose, if you will, separate the knees, bring the feet up so that the heels are over the knees. And then you can hook your elbows behind the knees. You can catch your ankles, or you can catch the outside edges of your feet. Move your elbows to the inside of your knees and draw the knees down towards your outer ribs, towards the floor. Keeping your breath even and soft, following your breath and following the movement in your body that your breath creates. If your arms get tired, you can always just take a break and hook your elbows behind the knees. Let's take 3 more breaths. And release the feet if you're still catching hold of them. Release the legs and the feet to the floor, and we'll set up for Shavasana. So if you like to use props, go ahead and grab your props. If you've got a cushion or a pillow, you can slide it underneath the thigh side of your knees, so your low back is released. And go ahead and make yourself comfortable and warm. And take this time to let go of your body completely. Make sure you're not touching any props. Slide the shoulders down away from the ears and let the shoulder blades be flat on your mat. Release the heads of the shoulders to the floor. Chin is slightly lower than your forehead. Begin to feel your body absorbing and integrating all the goodness from your practice. Relax your whole body. Relax your whole head. Soften the space between the eyebrows. Soften the skin on the forehead. Release your tongue from the top palate. Relax your whole mouth. Your breath be shallow. And surrender yourself to the earth completely. And let your next inhalation be an awakening breath. Gently deepening your breath, breathing more life back into your body. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. And gently rock your head from side to side. Rotate your wrists and your ankles a few times one way, a few times the other way. If you're using a bolster under your thighs, bend the knees, place your feet on the bolster and push it away from you. Give yourself one last long stretch. Inhaling to reach. Exhaling to roll over onto your right side. Just linger here on your right side for a moment. And slowly press yourself back up into a comfortable seated position. Resting your hands comfortably on your lap. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine. Close your eyes and notice the effects of your practice. Notice how you feel in your body on all levels. Let's rub the hands together briskly. Find some heat between your palms. And once they're warm, cup your hands over your eyes. And release the hands down your face and your neck back to your heart. Join the hands palm to palm in front of your heart. Lift your heart up into your prayer. Bow your head to your heart. And taking this feeling, however it is that you feel in your body, your heart, and your mind, take this feeling with you off your mat and into the rest of your evening. Thank you, everyone, for joining me this evening. Namaste.